Hello, I'm Heather Brooks,
I'm Cardyn Brooks.
and welcome to the Right Women Book Fest 2025 virtual narrators panel. Narrators panel, where we will be talking with live narrators, none of that AI business here. I would like to welcome Jynelle Brown, Tiana Holly, and Paige Reisenfeld. We are so lucky to have you on here today to talk to us about narration. And as authors, Cardyn and I are super excited about you being. We wish we would have had a chance to talk to you at the book fest. We never have time to talk to people at the book fest unless we're moderating something. But we're really glad to have. We found that we're really enjoying these virtual panels because we get to talk to and meet everybody that we haven't actually had a chance to talk to and meet before. Like I've met Jynelle before, and I've met all of you. I've met you, but I've not. I think Jynelle's the one I've had the most conversation with. But it's hard to really when you're work because when we're at the events, we're working, right? I am going to start off by kicking it on over to Cardyn, and she can kick off the questions. And I may poke in with a little question or something because I'm super curious. So
Yes.
go ahead, Cardyn.
So I just want to reiterate our gratitude and thanks for your making this time for this conversation because the narration element has expanded, or it feels like my perception is that it has expanded so much, and it's so much opportunity, especially for independent and self-published and hybrid published authors, because it feels like it levels the playing field in a lot of ways. So what I wanted to start with is, what made you, each of you, want to pursue this path? And if you all are okay with it, we can start with Jynelle, and maybe then do Paige, and then close out with Tiana, if that's all right with you with that order. So go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so I can give you a short answer or a long answer. The long answer is like 30 seconds. The short answer is like 5 seconds. So
Go long if you're comfortable with that, because it feels like the more details, I think every aspect is really important and helpful for authors.
okay. Yeah, okay. Well, the long answer is the the reason I'm pursuing this path is I already have like a 9 to 5. I always have a 9 to 5 and I always have a thousand side hustles. I'm a busybody. But how I got into one of the reasons why I started to pursue this path was I used to, on one of my 9 to 5s, have a really long commute. It was like an hour and a half one way, and it was exhausting. And most of the time, I'm kind of like this. I'm kind of like, yay, life is life and it's fine. But I started to get road rage. And it wasn't cute, okay? And so my friends were like, "Hey, why don't you listen to an audiobook?" And I was like, "I'm fine. I got music. I'm fine." And they were like, "Yeah, music isn't working." And I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll give it a try." And so I listened to they sent like two different audiobooks. One was like a murder mystery comedy, kind of quirky, fun type of book, and the other one was The Alchemist, which is, if anyone knows about The Alchemist, it's a super like, you reflect on life and everything. It's a very like deep book. And so what I realized is me focusing on that helped me stop focusing on some of the other things that really truly didn't really matter at that time. And my road rage was like pretty much gone. And I was like, oh wow, huh. Um, that'd be kind of cool if I could, I don't know, like pay it forward and pass it on to someone else and make them feel like the way I felt. It was really cool. So that's, and so basically that was in the back of my head, not in the front, but in the back of my head for years, years. And basically it took a while for me to finally, I guess, get enough courage. And then for me, I need like proof to do things. So I had to kind of like, okay, maybe I'll get a mic. Okay, maybe I'll get this and that. So I kind of tiptoed into it. So yeah, and I've been doing it for about it'll be 3 years in well, January. So yeah,
That's a great origin
Sounds like
story.
it's a good therapy for you too.
it is. I love audiobooks. Like that's how I consume books, to be honest.
hmm
As you can see, I have my specs on because without them, yeah, I can't really see. I'm like,
Well,
like
you
I
can
can
do
see,
stuff while you're
but
listening to an audiobook. You
and
can.
and
for those of you out there who are watching this and you have not listened to an audiobook, you are missing out because you can. I mostly listen when I'm cooking or when I'm driving. Those are the two times because it's
Same.
hard for me to do some of the other things I do while I'm working on my craft room. I'm definitely gonna be listening to audiobooks when I'm done with my craft room. So please give audiobooks a chance.
Same.
I think Paige was next.
Yeah, so I've been a listener for as long as I can remember, some more often than others, but like I had like books on tape when I was like 5 years old, like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. Like, like multiple like double-sided tape decks that I wore out. And then, you kind of move away from something and then you find it again. And I started, I had a boyfriend who lived 3 hours away from me. And I would go up like really late at night after work ended and I would drive back like at like 4 or 5 in the morning to get to work on time. But I would be listening to audiobooks the entire time. And I actually found ACX in like 2016 or 2017. And I was like, oh, this looks cool. And I made like a little profile and then I was looking at everything and I was like, whoa, this is a lot. This is way too much. I don't know what any of this means. So I'm going to go back and just, I was working on my music degree at the time. I was like, I don't even have time for this anyway. So then I started doing theater, and then the pandemic happened, and I got back to listening into audiobooks because I was working for the Zon. I was first a driver, and then I was in the the factory. That's what it is, the warehouse for like 10 and a half, 11-hour days. And in order to not go insane, lose my mind, I had and not allowed audiobook earbud in my ear the entire time, covered with a headband. So, and then 2021, I went up to see my dad, and he and I were listening to the same audiobook. And we were discussing narrators, and because it was like free in Audible Plus. And he stopped and he went, I think you'd be a good narrator. And I was like, I have looked into it. I was voted best reader in kindergarten. It's one of the highlights of my life. Thank you. And I did some research. I reached out to a big audiobook narrator to get like his 10-minute, what's the word I'm looking for? This is why I read other people's words, evaluation of my capabilities. And he said he thought I had chops. And so I was like, well, I had some family support for equipment and a location and the training. And so I just kind of dove into it with the hopes that I'd be able to pay my parents back. And I have been able to. So that was, 2021. So I've been doing this for about 4.5 years now.
That is a great origin story as well. Plus, I love the kindergarten tie-in, the best reader.
If I could still have that ribbon, it was like a little blue construction ribbon.
I love it. You should remake one and post it there in your booth. Like we need that. We need that. The spirit of that story needs to live in there. Yeah.
Yeah. My one award. It was right there. It was in kindergarten.
Yay. I know driving like a long distance like that, listening to an audiobook, it almost makes it pleasant. Like you want to keep driving as long as the weather's decent. Like I'm not good. Well, honestly,
I missed the exit a couple times. I was so engrossed. I was like, oh, we're there with the exit. It's going to take me another like 20 minutes to get back on. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes, you can zone out a little. You're like, oh, it's like what? Well, and I'm one of those visual, I can see the story in my head, so you gotta be careful of that. But it makes the time go by so much quicker. And Tiana?
So I have a theater background also. My parents say that I came out hitting a high C. So I went to school for musical theater. And I've been an actor for as long as I can remember. I did not win any awards for reading, though. I have severe dyslexia and wasn't a fluent reader until like third or fifth grade. So the fact that I read for a living is kind of phenomenal and nothing that I would have ever thought I would be able to do. My husband's the reason I pursued this path. My kids just got home. You may be able to hear them. I've always loved books, and I did a lot of audiobooks. And what I used to do, I used to get books for gifts. And if I loved them, which I usually did, I'd finish them and then listen to the audiobook. So I received a book called Violet Eyes, and I went to go listen to the audiobook, and there wasn't one. So I complained for like 3 weeks, and my husband got very tired of hearing me complain and was just like, "Why don't you make it?" And I went, "Why don't I make it?" Because like I had a degree in theater at the time, and hadn't been doing anything for years because I was a mom at that point. So I took his rickety desk post COVID that he wasn't using anymore and sat in front of a window that was by a main road leading to a hospital. Um, and took this 12-year-old snowball microphone, which I do have right there, and sat down and recorded this book from end to end. I did like 7 seconds of research for how to record an audiobook. I downloaded Audacity and I recorded this book. And then I did 7 more seconds for how to edit a book, and I edited the book. And I thought it's a Simon and Schuster book. I thought I was going to send it to them and they were going to be like, "We want to buy it. This is great."
Right.
You could hear my dog in the background. You could hear ambulances. You could hear the children. It was so bad. It was so much fun.
Yes.
So I did a lot more research. I learned about so many things, so many important things that you need to make a good audiobook, and that you don't sit at a rickety desk in front of a main window, but and that you get permission. You don't just record any old book. That's really important. So Simon and Schuster, I got rid of that book. Don't worry. It doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, but it was
So
a
the
lot of
journey
fun.
started with Audacity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
yeah.
I did a lot of books on Audacity. Mm-hmm.
So let me say this, even when you started your origin story, what it reminded me of like James Earl Jones as a stutterer becoming known for speaking. So when you were talking about your dyslexia, but then being known for books, like I find each of your stories are so fascinating to me about what got you into it. That's outstanding.
Yeah, and people have asked me, how did I get over my dyslexia? I'm like, I'm not over my dyslexia.
Right,
I'm dyslexic.
right,
I've just learned how to live with it.
right. To me, that's more inspiring because it's just how you're moving through the world, you know, allowing for that, accepting that, and just then not letting it stop you from what you want to do. That's outstanding. Okay, so let me not be on a tangent with all you all's outstanding origin stories. Heather, next.
Because we can talk. We try to tell the folks that we do the mini-sodes with that we can't do the 5-minute mini-sode because it's just impossible, and even 10 minutes is stretching. So we do 15-minute mini-sodes because we just know we're going to do this. So now that you're narrators, tell me, who do you feel like in your field that stands out, that it influences you, or maybe that has a inspires you, if anybody, maybe you don't have an inspirational person that that you follow or are interested in, but if you do, tell us who that is, and more about that, Jynelle.
Yeah. So thinking about this question, I was like, that's like choosing your favorite kid. That's not right. But honestly, when I first started, and actually I still do listen too, when I first started, some of the narrators that kind of made me go, "Ooh, I could possibly give it a try," were women who could reach like lower registers too, not just the high ones, but low ones too. Because I really like doing guy voices and things. And so like Lorelei King, she does like some of the like Janet Ivanovich type of books and stuff, and that's kind of like the light kind of like mystery, murder, whatever type of books. And then Bonnie Turpin, she like they, oh my gosh, the way they can just every character they do, it feels like a totally different character. And I know not every audiobook is necessarily set up, not every book is necessarily set up for that type of experience, but I feel like anytime I'm about to listen to any book that they do, I know I'm in for an experience. And so they're a part of why I was like, all right, let me just do it. All right, fine. And yeah, so that they come to mind first.
It's nice when somebody helps make it feel attainable to you, you know.
It
It
they definitely did. They
yeah.
definitely did. Not that I'm on their level. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. But
I
it just feels like, oh my gosh, like I
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Paige.
I think there are so many different styles of inspiration. You know what I mean? Like I will listen to like some great narrators to be like, "Oh, this is how I can improve my craft." Like this is how, they're amazing storytellers. Ray Porter, January Lavoie, Saskia Marleveld, Kristen Atherton, like they are on my gods and goddesses list. And then there's the women and the colleagues I've surrounded myself with who are all kind of around the same level. Tiana, you know what I'm talking about, but like our coven, which is just full of women who come from so many different backgrounds, who have started in so many different paths, who we all excel at such different things, but we're all there to uplift and inspire and critique and call to task. Like it's wonderful having and inspirational to have a circle of colleagues who you can trust implicitly for advice, critique, inspiration, celebration, without that kind of jealous envy thing kind of weighing you down. I found the community itself, especially the ones I've been lucky enough to surround myself with, is incredibly inspirational.
And I think that too is why Cardyn and I do what we have done with the Right Women Book Festival. It was important to us to connect with other women that could help lift each other up. And of course, we finally got narrators in 2025, which is a something that we'd been wanting to do. It's just, it's just us two little team members. And so it's been very hard to expand the way we wanted to. And we were so happy to hear that you all would be coming this year. It really made us happy. And if we had been attending the Right Women Book Festival as attendees, I think I would have been magnetized right to the narrator section first off. So I'm so glad we get a chance to talk to you today. Thank you for that list of inspirational narrators. And Tiana?
I'm going to take advantage of going last and say both of those answers. So, Bonnie Turpin, uh, I'm going to say because she does the types of books that I want to do. She does the contemporary romances I want to do. She does the fantasies that I want to do. She does the paranormal romances that I want to do. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to do that spread. Yay. And then I have gotten the opportunity recently to audition for books and not get books that I then see who gets them and be like, what? I got invited to audition
Yeah.
for a book that went to her and just feel so honored that I got invited to audition for a book that went to someone so talented.
You're leveling
And
up, level up,
I'm
level
like,
up.
Mhm.
I cannot believe that I was in that room.
Yeah. Well, let
Believe
me
And
it.
ask.
It's the
that's so
audacity.
amazing.
Believe it.
Well, let me
That
ask
just
you
feels
this
good.
as a follow-up, Tiana. So, for like, I'm totally ignorant of the whole. How do you get invited? Like, what's that process like? Does somebody reach out to you with an email? Like, how does that work? Are you on a listserv that people are like, who's looking for work? How does that?
So it's interesting. That process is slightly opaque, even to us. Um, I got I won the opportunity to do a quick pitch. So I got to put myself out there to a large number of producers. And that opened a lot of doors to me. I got myself in front of a lot of people. And after I did that, I had a lot of opportunities.
So, how did you even find out about the Pitch Fest? Like,
So I am a member of the Audiobook Producers
mm,
Association, and I'm also a member of PANA, which right now I am blanking on what that is.
that's okay.
Paige will answer that for me, though. That is the professional narrators. Nope, I'm going to get it wrong.
That's
It's the
okay.
Professional
Gotcha.
Audiobook Narrators Association. Hi, I'm on the
Thank you.
board. So
So like there are associations and things like that that
Gotcha.
we can join that help us make connections.
Gotcha. Excellent. Thank you for that. And for the assist page. All right. Is it me, Heather? I'm not paying attention. Okay, because I got sidetracked by wanting to follow up on how you get okay. So the next question is what is the question you get asked most by authors? And let me start with Jynelle.
Yeah, no problem. Usually it's usually either how did it get started? Basically, they'll ask that like if they're interested in me narrating, they'll be like, okay, so what do I need to do first? So they ask that. They ask how much. They ask who or which authors I've narrated or books I've narrated beforehand, like other books I've narrated. So those are usually the it's like the triple couple of
Right, right,
questions or
right.
so that I always
Yeah.
get.
No,
So what is the
that's
first step? Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. That's it.
What is the first step that a person has to do to get you as a narrator?
So it really does depend on it there's really no right or wrong way to get started. Um, you can like I mean obviously like I'm available on certain platforms on social media, but I'm also like starting to attend, especially this year. I attended a couple of events and in person, and I got to talk to a couple different authors and other like narrators and stuff like that, which was really exciting. And so once we talk and everything, I see what you want, and then also sometimes I encourage them if they have already listened to audiobooks and there's a certain feel that they like or whatever, then I encourage that as well. Like, okay, well, what are you looking for? What's the tone? And then we'll just kind of talk about their book and what their expectations are because um although I do love narrating audiobooks and things, it may not be like a good fit for me
Right,
or their book may not be a good fit for me or I might not really be a good fit for that book.
right.
They may be looking for someone that's maybe more monotone and
Mm,
maybe it depends on a couple of different things. And even though I'm a voice actor and all that. I'm still, I still may not be a good fit for that
right.
certain book or whatever. So, yeah, but there's no
So
right
it's
or wrong way.
like a certain element of like consulting almost, it sounds like.
For me, yes.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
yes. Because a lot of the authors I've worked with thus far are
Mhm.
indie authors.
Right.
So I really get to like really talk to them and
Mhm.
be like, hey, well, okay, well, what about this? And some have even sent like, especially if I'm trying to get like an accent or something, some have
Yes.
even sent like little YouTube clips of
Okay.
who they want. And so
Right.
it's fun. And I do get to do some consulting. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think of
So,
it like that.
yeah, yeah.
But now I am.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 most definitely. Excellent. And Paige, what's your experience with what you get asked most by authors?
what I get asked most is basically, how do I get my book in audio? Like, where does it
Mm,
even the process? It's not clear. It's
right.
not clear anywhere. When you Google it, things come up from 2016.
Mhm.
Like, it's not clear on how to do it. Or you have like bad information on
Right.
social media that's like, it's going to cost you $20,000. No, it
Right.
doesn't. If I'd been paid that, I probably wouldn't be doing this as much as I do. Like,
Set us straight, Paige. Set them straight. Well,
right?
here's your
Like,
chance.
so, and
Yeah.
honestly, if you don't mind a little self pitch here, I was
Of
getting asked this
course.
so
No,
much.
that's why we're here.
I actually developed a document that compares all of the platforms in terms of their
Mm,
royalties, in terms of
mm,
their requirements on time, in terms of the
Yeah.
budget things that they offer. For example, do they offer royalty share or do they not?
Right.
And also kind of a breakdown in the process of, or breakdown of the process, I should
Yes.
say, of the thing. And that's a free guide. I update it. I don't put it behind a paywall or on a newsletter
Oh,
because I don't
wow.
like gatekeeping. I think that information is important and it's a living document. So I'm updating it constantly as platforms change. And because I was getting it so much that I was like, wow, I'm spending a lot of time saying the same thing over and over again. So let me just put this all in one place. And, then if people have follow-up questions once they've
Yes.
kind of done the deep dive,
Yes.
then like please feel free to come back and answer, and I'll answer if I know the answer, or if I
Right.
don't, I will find it. But yeah, definitely the how to, or what's it cost? What's it cost? And the answer to that is it depends on what you want.
Right.
It can cost
Oh,
you
that's
anywhere
great.
from $0 out of pocket, and it
Yeah.
can cost 20,000. But then you're
Right.
looking at long books, multicast,
Right.
SAG-AFTRA, duet style, where everyone's
Right.
got lines.
Right.
Like, and there's such a range in there that there is no one answer.
Gotcha.
So.
Right.
Oh, but that's so generous of you, the way
It
you
wasn't. It was
structured that.
completely selfish, because then I have to spend
Then you
less
didn't have to
time
keep saying
doing
it.
it.
I will
Right.
put the link. I will put the link in the description if you'll send it to me. I'd
Oh
be
yeah.
happy to put that link in the description. And folks, so is this a document that's more for authors that want to hire? That's what
Yeah.
okay. It's directed at authors who want to hire a narrator.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. We're going
So
to talk about
there you
distribution,
go. Paige has
hiring,
got the
etc.
answers.
So
That's fabulous. All right, Tiana, what you got for us? What are they asking you? What are the authors asking you most often?
So I get the rate question and I get the how do I get started question.
Yeah.
But my big question is what accents do you do?
Oh,
So I do a lot of accents.
well, because you have the theater background, and so that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Like performative. Ah, excellent. And so, well, let me ask you, like, do you specialize? Like, do you have like 2 or 3 accents that you feel are like, these are the ones I always feel 100% confident in, or like,
5?
You have 5
nice.
accents?
Yeah.
Okay. Which ones are they? Shoot them out there.
Um, so okay. So in my back pocket, let's see. So typically I can just out of my pocket, I can just pull out a Scottish accent pretty easily. Um,
Oh, I love it.
I play D&D, and for 2 years I played a Scottish character. So
Okay.
I played her once a week, so she's pretty easy to get. She's not like any specific place.
Right, right.
If I went to Scotland, I'm pretty sure I'd offend some people, but I did live there for a year, so I might be able to blend in.
I love it.
Um, most actors can do a British accent. Again, that one's blending all over the place because I just did British.
We put you on the spot.
I can do RP, I can do Cockney, I cannot have them have a conversation.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm working on it, sometimes they can have a conversation. I've done that once.
it's
I
why
don't
we
know that I
punch and
can ever
roll.
repeat that.
It's why we.
Exactly.
I can
Could you imagine somebody
sometimes
rolling
have,
by your window too? Like
um, let's see if I can make her come out right now.
tuppence.
I've got French, and then I have what I call colonizer French,
Oh.
which is it's just dirty. It's just I've got Eastern European, which if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, and you do Critical Role, it's Jester Lavoie. And then I can do.
I think that's more than 5. You got
Yeah.
another one. Oh, she's
Yeah,
up to 7.
I can do General Caribbean. I'm working on a Nigerian.
Okay.
American
Yeah.
South, girl. American
Oh yeah,
South.
that's right. I am from Georgia,
That's like
so
9.
I can do Southern in my sleep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Um, Yeah,
Bravo. Bravo to all of you. I mean, that's so much good information in addition to the skills that you're applying to the actual narration. It has a lot of layers.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for the demonstration too. It was, and you could tell you have you're a theater person because you just went right into it. Um, I'm gonna skip the next question because it was you guys kind of answered it in the last round. So, which was basically, what would people have to do to get started? What would authors have to do to get started? And we're gonna have Paige's whole document. Like, well, I don't think we need more than that. So I'm gonna skip on down to the next question if that's okay with Cardyn. Um,
Yes, please do.
Okay. I was like, it's nice to say if it's okay with somebody and then not wait for them to say it's okay. Like we want to wait for them to say it's okay. Um, so this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart as a longtime artist and a shorter time author. I've been an artist longer than I've been an author, but they both, I've been an author for over 10 years. Um, we know, Cardin and I know that real voices are better. We know that real humans are better. We do not write with AI. We do not use AI in other contexts, not generative, like in any context other than autocorrect or the formatting software, that kind of thing. We do not use AI to write our books. It's all human generated. And I know that this is a subject that also impacts music artists and it also impacts narrators, especially with big platforms coming out with their AI narration. Can you please just take a moment and tell us your pitch about why real voices are better than AI generated voices? Now, to my ear, it's pretty clear why it's better. In fact, we were over at a relative's house recently who was listening to an AI narrated audiobook, and my husband goes, "How long are we gonna have to listen to that robot voice? I can't. Can they turn it down? Like what's going on? I can't listen to that like on and on. It's this no inflection. There's accidental misreadings, like little misreadings and things like that. So I am completely against AI for tons of reasons. I think there's, some good use of AI, especially for disabilities and things like that. I don't think AI should be doing art. I think AI should be doing things that humans should free humans up to do art. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know where any of you all stand on this subject. I'm just putting it out there. But let's start with Jynelle. Please tell us your feelings about AI and narration and where you think we go from here.
First, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I really do. I have a fully biased opinion. I mean, hello, I'm a narrator. So, um, I mean, it's similar to you. I think, AI does have a place, but I don't think it's necessarily narrating books, especially long books that you really just want to get into and experience and enjoy. And I feel like, with a real voice, my real voice, that's what you get. You get the lived, relatable experiences, and you get to hear them and you get to feel them. And that's what I want to pass on to anybody that gets a chance to listen to any of the books that I'm lucky enough to narrate. So, yeah, that's my biased opinion about it. I'm not against all AI, but for audiobooks, no, it's not for me.
I don't know, Tiana, do you want to go first? Because I can talk a dissertation on this.
Um, so I've listened to an AI narrated book. Well, I've listened to what I am fairly certain, and other listeners are fairly certain, is an AI narrated book. And my opinion of that book is that it was a bad book. Now, I've had other people who have read the book who have told me it was a good book.
Mm,
Now, please listen to what I said.
right,
I didn't say it was a poorly narrated book.
right,
I said it was a bad book.
right.
And I think that's what a listener will hear.
Mm,
an AI narrated book sounds like a bad book
Yeah.
because AI narrators are scarily good. When you decide to immerse yourself into the book, when you decide to suspend the disbelief and get over how crap they are,
Right.
they're good enough.
Right.
And then what's left is a bad book.
Yeah.
So since we're talking to authors,
Right.
what you're left with is a bad book.
Right.
Yeah.
And also that certain something, and this might be because I'm 100 years old, but with the narration and the artwork and the AI musicians, there is something that is essential to being human that in the generation of art is it feels soulless. If even if you can't give the words to identify, there's something like when Tiana was saying she listened to a book that she's pretty sure was AI narration. It's because there was something that was missing that maybe you can't exactly pinpoint, but it's that something, which is how each human being of the billions and billions of human beings that have ever existed and that exist now, that's unique to each individual, but then there's something that's unique to being human generated. So that's my little soapbox moment, but that's what I was thinking when Tiana was
There's a
talking about art.
warmth to a human voice that is rings hollow in AI. And now I feel like I can pick out AI, but maybe I've been fooled a couple of times. I don't know. Pretty much I feel like I can tell when I'm hearing AI. Now, I want to say, Paige, I missed what you said because I accidentally hit mute or unmute on somebody besides myself when I meant to unmute. I said, I'm talking and muted. And so I
It's okay.
completely missed what you said.
Paige kicked it to Tiana because Paige has a dissertation for us, so we're gonna go.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I can rant for hours, so I wanted to give everybody else a chance to speak so I didn't have to touch on those same points. I'm going to start with that. What is beautiful about human narration is the imperfections in the human voice. What gives us character, what gives us life, what gives us soul is our experiences, and our experiences and our emotions are reflected in the sound of our voice. Were you a smoker? You got a rasp. You know, that is a reflection of what you have lived, what you have dealt with. And that's just one small example. If you go with AI, you're getting a generated facsimile, and you know what else? Everybody else is getting the same generated facsimile. You are not getting a person telling your story. You are getting the same reading or recitation of your story, which doesn't make it special at all. What brings audiobooks to life, and a bad narrator, and I'm saying AI, can ruin a good book, and a really good narrator can elevate a bad book. But what you are getting is going to sound the same. If I say, he said, it's going to sound the same in that other person's book as he said. Whereas we are supposed to have an opinion about he said. Like my reaction to that is different. And it's so small. It's those two words. It's the breathing in there. She gasped. Am I gasping in surprise? Am I gasping in anger? Is this person's anger cold or is it hot? What if you've got a fantasy where you have to develop a language and a linguistic accent? AI can't do that. AI also can't market with you. AI cannot be a collaborative relationship with you where they are going out saying, hey, buy this book because it's amazing and I narrated it. They're not posting on social media about it. You are missing out on marketing opportunities because of it. You are missing out on collaborative human relationships because of it. And not everybody is Ray Porter. But most people are exponentially better than AI. And the fact of the matter is it's not accessibility because text-to-speech exists. What it is capitalism trying to make money off marketing something as accessible when it already is because text-to-speech exists. Now you're just trying to charge for it. And that's not accessible. I'm going to stop there because we don't have like 4
No,
hours of my
but
opinion. But
yeah, you hit the highlights though, but that part also about maximizing profit. So what I always think when the overall overarching idea is let's not employ humans. Let's use information technology to replace humans. And I'm like, okay, well, we are capitalists, and a key core thing of capitalism is humans that generate income so that then we can go buy other goods and services. So this obsession with not paying humans to do work, I'm like, so what is the ultimate end goal? And that might be like a big philosophical question, but I'm just like, I don't, are you just using capitalism to then subjugate everybody and
It just feels
eventually you
like it's
just
going to
don't care?
collapse under its own weight at some
Right.
point. Like
Yeah.
it can't continue this way.
Well,
And
AI
that,
can't purchase anything either.
Right.
AI can't listen. AI
Right.
can't purchase.
yes,
AI
Right.
doesn't feed into the economy. Once you've built the infrastructure, it's done. So who's consuming? Well, consumers
I
have to
would,
make money in order to
Yes.
consume. And so, yeah, we're like, okay, well, now we're at that plateau and
Right.
nothing is happening.
I
And all
think
these
that
business reports about these AI companies that have yet to generate profit. That's the other thing too. They're pouring all this money into. So I guess I'm asking kind of an impossible question because I'm like, I don't understand what the end game is.
The end game is trillionaires living their best lives while the rest of us toil in the muck. That's my that's
I think
my
it's possible we
very,
can't
very cynical
see
point of
Mm.
view.
No,
the
no,
end game because we don't
it
think
has an
that way.
element of truth but here's the other thing about that, and I go on a little bit of a tangent, but like the generating of trillionaires, but I'm like, so a financial system is a made up world. So if you push it to the point where most people don't have money, like then your financial system collapses. So then you're a trillionaire, but what does that mean if your dollars are worth nothing? So that's the other part that I'm like, hey, these people that got these degrees and these MBAs and they're so super smart, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, we have to buy into your financial system. And if we start trading, like
Right.
if we go back to a barter system, your
Yes.
dollars and stocks mean nothing.
Right.
Right. And I would like to, since we're talking about AI and anybody
Yeah.
that's watching this, especially authors, if you don't know this,
Right.
um, AI is a huge resource hog as well in terms of natural resources,
Mm-hmm.
water and electricity and things
Yeah.
like that. And maybe you haven't you're busy. I know all the authors and narrators, we're all busy because most of us have a regular job and our other gigs. And I just want to say you need to stop, especially if you're trying to make your cover AI, if you're trying to make your narrator AI, if you're trying to use AI and you're trying to make money from that, you really need to, if you have ethics, then you need to really examine before you do that the resources that you're using in order to make that happen. So it is a really bad poor system for all artists, for the cover designers, for the narrators, for the authors, for the musicians, everybody that does these things, including things like font design and all that stuff. It's it's not you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, even if it doesn't matter that you're harming other narrators, or like maybe you're an author, you're not worried that bad much about narrators, I don't know, but you're harming yourself in the end, because eventually everything's just going to be AI glop. And I actually think we're headed to a direction of, in my opinion, of where you can prove you're not AI generating your novels and your art and your narration or whatever, and then people will pay more for that because they want. It's like when the Industrial Revolution happened, people would buy handmade lace because that was all there was. But then when the machine made lace came along, everybody wanted that, and it was more expensive because it was special. But then once that became ubiquitous, it became cheaper, and you learned how to use people to do that and drive the prices, in a so that lace was cheaper to have, and then everybody wanted handmade again. And I think that we're in a cycle like that in terms of narration, writing, music, literature, all that stuff. And because I think AI is really bad for us. So I offer, again, also with Paige, I think we should have a whole AI panel at some time to just sit and talk, or you could come on the podcast and we could talk trash about AI for an hour.
I
I
think
would
Let
it's
me
just
say
enjoy
this
that.
really quickly too, though. What you were that the lace example you were using. So now as far as I can remember, I've only seen this one time, but the most recent Sylvia Day book, in the front, right before, right after her title page, she has a full page that says human generated, and it has some kind of number. And I was like, wow, that's the point we've reached.
That's
And
where
then,
we are.
yeah.
Well, and the
Yeah.
thing is, like, it's not free either because those data centers, the electric companies are routing those bills to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So you're still paying for that. You're paying it in your power. You're paying
Your
it in your
water,
power
And
your
bill,
also your
power.
water usage, you're
your
paying more for
water,
that.
all
And
of
then the
it.
different communities that are talking about how they were showing their water pressure is basically nil, and what
Hmm.
the water that was coming out, the way it looked and smelled.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So I'm glad we ended on that question because it was an important one and one I definitely wanted to touch base with because I know how it's impacting your small businesses and I don't want to see that happen. And women especially are already earning less and it costs us more to live, like makeup, feminine
We
hygiene
are seeing
products.
pushback though. Like, did you all hear about what just happened with Amazon? They released that dub of a really popular anime that was an AI dub, and the backlash was so
no.
bad and huge that
No.
they pulled it.
Oh no, I
Oh,
missed that.
wait, I did hear
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, they pulled the dub, the AI dub that they did because the backlash against it because it was so bad
Oh
and it was
wow.
such a popular anime that
That's
people
great.
like
That's
it
good
was
to hear.
crazy. So I'm like, yay, we
Okay.
Yeah.
love
I didn't
this.
know they
Win
pulled
for
it. That's
Yes.
voice
great.
actors.
Let's
So
hear it
like,
for the humans.
yes.
Yay,
Yay!
humans, go.
Yay.
That's right. So in closing out, what we want to do is we'll go Jynelle, Paige, and Tiana, and just get how can people find you? Where are you at? What's the best way to reach you? And like where do you like to hang out at? And where might or you have any events coming up? Where can maybe we see you? So let's start with Jynelle.
Yeah, so I'm done with events this year. Although I did do human voices only. I did that was it last week or the week before with Carmen Chantel? That was my first time. It was on TikTok. So I might
It
have to
was
get
the
on TikTok.
21st of November.
Yes, yes. Yep. It was awesome. I loved it. It was so much fun. J Brown Voice, and you can find me. I have website, Instagram mostly. TikTok, I might hop over since that was so much fun doing the human voices only. And yeah, usually I'm there. Usually I'm over on Instagram though. But yeah, J Brown Voice.
Great, thank you,
Thanks.
Paige.
Probably the best place to find just all of the contact info is pagevoice.com. I won't make you spell my last name. But all of my socials are linked right at the top of that, pagevoice.com. I'm mostly on TikTok and Instagram, but they generally share content. So if you follow me on one, you'll see the content on the other. So
And you do lives, right? I've seen you do lives.
I do
Yeah,
occasionally. Okay, it depends on my mood. I am an introvert, so sometimes it's a lot of work to be like, oh, look, all these people are gonna watch me.
right.
And so sometimes I don't. But yeah, so it's not scheduled. It's very just like, do I feel like it or whatever. But yeah.
Cardyn calls it our inner hermit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we decide to work in a 3 by 5
Right.
padded room. So
It's your little den.
Hey, no lie. I saw your setup and I'm like, that might be for me.
Cozy.
it's really warm in here. It's 28 degrees outside. And I'm like, I need to take the sweater off.
Well, thank you so much, Tiana.
You can find me at Tiana Tinkers, vo.com. So Tinkers like Tinkerbell, Tiana Tinkers VO. Um, I am on Instagram at Tiana Tinkers VO and on TikTok at Tiana Not the Princess. Um, I go live sometimes, also not scheduled, um, just whenever the
Win the
book
mood.
seems, yeah, when the book is not tripping me up, then I decide to go live with it. If
And
it's
I will be putting everybody's information down in the description. So please support human voices, support these narrators. All these narrators are we're in Maryland. The Write Women Book Fest was in Maryland in Prince George's County. All these narrators are in this general area. If you're a Maryland author, or a Virginia author or a Pennsylvania author, what are you even doing if you're not contacting these people first? Like, come
Mid-Atlantic
on.
region.
Right. Like Mid-Atlantic. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on,
I'm 20
Mid-Atlantic
minutes north
authors.
of North Carolina, so
Oh, okay.
go a little south.
Yeah,
And
we'll go
especially if you
south.
need any accents, we've got Tiana knows them all. So, all right. And I will, anyway, we are really happy to have had you. And I'm going to kick the close out to Cardyn. It's
Yes.
her little closeout.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on The Bitchy Quill. Please look for more episodes where we discuss publishing from a feminist perspective and our guest minisodes here on YouTube. If you'd like to be a guest on The Bitchy Quill, please email us at thewritewomenbookfest@gmail.com. The info will be in the episode information. And let me just say that this panel was so informative, so encouraging, really inspiring for like ideas. I'm speaking for myself as an author. And just thank you for your time. Thank you for the generosity of sharing your expertise and encouragement. And we just really appreciate you and just wish you all the very best.
Yes, thank you. And just one last note that we do the Bitchy Quill, but this
I forgot.
specific panel.
I forgot.
My fault. My bad. This
No.
specific panel is for the Right Women Book Fest 2025.
Our virtual
You're the host
content.
of the Bitchy
Sorry, my
Quill.
bad.
I didn't change the wording from our last sheet, so that's on me. But that's okay because now you know about the Bitchy Quill, and we would love to have each of you. Lovely narrators on the Bitchy Quill at some point. If you'd like to be there in one of our mini-sodes, we would love to have you. And thank you so much. Everybody have a good evening. Please support these small businesses.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.